Mountain Blade Bannerlord, a game that has been teased for many years now, but is finally within our Steam libraries as the game has been out for a week now. I'm pretty sure it's fair enough to say I can do a pretty decent review for this game, saying I've invested 39 hours into it within the span of that time, and I've played many hours in campaign, which it being mostly campaign, but some of those hours have been focused on multiplayer. And for this review, it's mainly just going to focus on the multiplayer aspect of the game for the many people that are going to be purchasing Bannerlord within the early access to play the new multiplayer modes. So just keep in mind, this review is still within the early access phases of Bannerlord, so a lot of stuff might be missing and hopefully a lot of new features are to come down the road. Starting off with the game modes, there are only currently 3 main game modes for right now, with those being Commander Battle, Skirmish, and everybody's beloved Siege. Commander Battles being my favorite game mode, since most of the 500 hours I have dedicated to Warband are to the DLC Napoleonic Wars and to the many regiments many of us have been part of probably. But basically, if you don't know, Commander Battle is a 6v6 game mode where every player gets to choose their own unit type specific to that faction, and you can change some of the gear. So with horses you can change, or with cavalry to say, you can change the horses, the armor. Really there's only 2 main things you can change on your own troops, but the main goal in mind is to work together to either capture the flags, which occasionally one of them will move or get destroyed and that flag's no longer there and you can hold the last flag, or you can kill all the enemy troops including their commanders, which will lead you to victory. So this game mode is going to be up your alley if you enjoy controlling your own troops and trying to work with your allies. One thing I hope they do add is a voice mode for a game mode like this, so you can actually talk to your allies to type to everybody. Next game mode is Skirmish. Skirmish is also 6v6 game mode with the goal in mind to wipe out the enemy team also. But one of the big difference between this and the Commander Battles is you have to have gold to choose your class. So if you want to be an archer and if you want to be cavalry, they're all going to charge different amounts of gold, ranging from, I believe, like the cheapest is 90, and then it could be up to 200 gold. So it's a little bit different from Warband's main mode where you have to choose all the armor, but you do want to make sure you manage your gold good because you can only get them from kills, and if you don't have enough gold, the battlefield can really become unbalanced due to maybe the enemy team all having cavalry and seeing if you guys can't take them out. Last mode is, like I said, everybody's beloved siege battles. And Bannerlord siege battles are currently 60v60 and have a variety of different maps, all included with siege equipment, from a siege tower to a battling ram to just the plain old ladders. Siege has been the mode I've played the most on multiplayer due to it being different every time. You may need to be an archer stopping the advance of an enemy battling ram, or a foot soldier fighting on the walls or at the main gate to try to keep the enemies out when they do breach. And I believe destruction is also in multiplayer. You may need to move around to find cover, but my only complaint about siege battles is people can really be annoying. On the ladders, you can't go through your own teammates, so they can just block off ladders, and that's pretty much the end of the ladder. But also, as a defender, many defenders will just open up the main gate when the enemies are up there, causing the enemies just to pour in. And if you guys cannot get that main gate closed, it can really end the game right there. Now, with all the game modes being out of the way, I want to talk about the other aspects of multiplayer. So one major thing that I enjoy is the character customization, which I probably spent an hour customizing my character. It is still the same character customization from the story mode, but one thing I wish they did include is the banners. Like we used to have in Warband that would display over your head. They are not in this current game, but I hope maybe in the future they do add something like that. Now, with everything I already said out of the way, I can now focus on my complaints. With Bannerlord still being in early access, I really won't complain about too many things about it because it's still in development. So my biggest complaint though is the servers. So for a queue to get into a session, my first time ever doing it, I chose all 3. It took about 10 minutes to finally get into a session, which ended up being a siege server, which they can last sometimes up to 30 minutes, so it wasn't that bad since I got to play for a tiny bit. But when it goes to other game modes like Commander Battles or Skirmish, it might take you longer because a lot of people might not be focused on that current game mode. So if you're coming in here to play one of those, just be sure you're gonna have to maybe wait a tiny bit. I guess my shortest one though was about a few seconds. I got instantly thrown into a commander battle, but like I said, those variety, and during that time you can do a lot of stuff. I mean, 10 minutes is a lot of time, especially to be wasting trying to join a server. But to finish off this review, I have to say Bannerlord so far is a pleasant experience to play when it comes to multiplayer, and I will be making one based on the campaign, which I absolutely love. It is amazing. But if you do want to get Bannerlord for the multiplayer, I have to say multiplayer is in good working order right now, and I believe it's going to be something you're going to have a blast playing. Thank you.